Today is just a quick screencast on how to find the 3 reports we're going to be using for math and looking at the data. So the first thing, I'm going to choose the report we're going to look at. Once we get into the report, the first one is the summary report. So here we have a graph that we're going to look at. So each one gives an average for each question. So question 1, the average score was 100. If you click on that question on the bar, it gives you the question that the students answered. This line here represents the average time it took for each student to answer the question. So the average time for question 1 was 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Next, we're going to scroll down. We're going to filter. We're going to look at our questions, and we're going to look at our data by student. So this particular report, the summary report, I make for you, and it's in your OneDrive. So if you went to Aborn Staff and your grade level, Edcite Reports, I believe it's under 2122, and the unit number that you're looking for. And there's ELA, math, and science there. So you click on math, the unit number, and your report will be there. So on the summary report, you'll see a list of your students, the questions they got correct. If they missed a particular question, it will have a 0 next to it. If you would like, you can click on each student's name, and you can see every question that they answered and what their choices were. Scrolling down, you also get your average for each question and the district average for each question. So that's the first report, but again, I do that for you, and that is in the OneDrive if you wanted to take a look at those. The next report we're going to look at is the item analysis report. So that report, we have another graph here. It still gives us the average for each question. When we scroll down, we're looking for individual choice. And here we have our questions. Again, you can click on the number. It will show you the questions that the students answered. Moving across, it gives us the standard, the type of question it was. This was a multiple choice question. These were the 4 choices that the students had. In green is the correct answer and our percentage. So for question 1, 100% of the students chose C, and all the students got it correct. For question 2, when we look at that, we have 17 students got the question correct for full credit. And for no credit, it gives the percent and the number of students that did not receive credit. So to look at the data a little bit deeper to see which students might have struggled with those questions, we click on the percentage. We can see the student's name, and if we click on that, it brings us to that particular question, or it brings us to actually all their work, and we can see what the students chose for their answers. So the last report we're going to be looking at is the performance band report. And in this report, it breaks us down to a pie graph for us. So this one we have is based on the students. We can see that all the students scored either proficient between a 50 and 75, or advanced, which is between a 75 and 100. We can also filter it by standard. Most standards got in that advanced range, but we have proficient. We have some students scoring in the basic level, which is 25 to 50% on a standard. And in one particular standard, we had a below basic, which is less than 25%. So when we scroll down, the data is sorted by students. You want to make sure that that's highlighted here, student. And when we look at this, it's broken down by standard. So we can give a quick snapshot of which students struggled on which standards. So here, this was an unaligned, so it's not based on a standard. So unaligned, a lot of students struggled on that particular question. And we scroll down, we can see unaligned, it was question number 14. So a lot of students struggled on question 14. The average score for that question was a 70%. We can also see that on this particular standard, multiple students scored in that basic range, which was between 25 and 50%. And for that standard, it was these questions. So we have question 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 13 were based on this one standard, and this was the average score. So today we're going to be distributing a guidance document, which breaks down the 3 reports that we just mentioned in the screencast. And it also gives some guiding questions for you to look at that will help you not necessarily navigate the site, but it will help you guide your thinking in terms of how you might make small groups or how you will move forward and use this data in your classroom to maybe differentiate instruction and maybe look at some particular questions um, to review for students that might have been struggling.